Good morning, YouTubers, YouTube viewers, you, YouTuber, YouTube viewers. Welcome back. First of all, thanks for all your very nice comments. That was I read those, and you're very kind to me. Thank you. I have some great news for you too. Um, After the latest storm that actually took some of the fittings of the portals off, so I had to close them. Um, the blue sky is back in Charente, just as it should be. I'll show you. Wait. Look at that. That's how it should be. Dare I say it? I'm even gonna use the S word. Yep, it looks and sounds and feels like spring. And I'm very happy about that. We have to empty some compost and boring things like that. Excuse the wires here, but last night I worked about 5 o'clock in the morning finishing the network. That's not really part of the sound. Some of it's connected to the console upstairs, and some of it is normal fiber, and some of it's security stuff, but they all need to coexist. So it's a little bit messy now until it has to be good again. A much better day, look at that. I have thought that I should. No one's really asked me this. I could say, oh, some of the comments ask me what do I eat and cook, and no one's asked that. But I'll tell you anyway. I cook a lot. I'm not very good. Technically, I can't cook, but I started. I started cooking a lot a long time ago. Something happened. It made me feel not so great, and I realized that I don't know, taking a couple of hours even in the evening, it calms me down, and it worked really well for me to feel better, really. So, what do I do when you run around the whole day? I start cooking dinner, sort of breakfast, just after breakfast, really. And normally there's three things. The last one out of those three is a bit of a curveball, but the other two are sticking to this concept where, well, number two involves that tagine there in the corner. It's sort of a Moroccan way of doing things, but I thought we should start with something I'm sure you all know, but a bœuf bourguignon, because it's so simple and it's fantastic, and you can just leave it there the whole day, and you get on with your day. You do loads of things, whatever, housework or wiring or whatever, couple of hours of piano. All you need is a pot, some meat that I've put in the wine for a little bit. There's tons of veg. Don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Yeah, sort of chunky cuts. You don't actually have to fuss at all with it. It takes 3 minutes to just carrots, lots of onions, some parsley, or in this case coriander, some pickled onions, a few cornichons, a little bit of lemon, some Tabasco actually, and other herbs, and the meat. And it takes no time at all. So you have breakfast, and then strangely you start cooking immediately afterwards. And then 8 hours later, when your day is done, you sit down to a really nice meal. Well, we have to make some mash as well, but we can do that later. Let's do this one. A dear friend then gave me a really good piece of advice, and that was identify the 10 things that you most like eating. You know, find those, whether it's the Nobel Prize winning dinner menu from 1978 with all what that might take, or if it's just a pasta, a carbonara, and 4 ingredients with egg, parmesan, pancetta, and black pepper, and that's it. Then anyway, you find those 10 dishes that you really like and learn how to cook those really well. And I kind of stuck to that for a long time. Anyway, so we put some heat in that. A little bit of oil. So this meat has been overnight. I suppose that's a bit of a preparation, but it's easy with some pepper, loads of red wine. And it's not really the best cuts of meat because it doesn't have to be. It's going to leave it there for so long. It doesn't matter. So we start with quickly we're going to brown that meat. I don't know if you can see that. It's in there somewhere. Yeah. And then we have a veg. Chunkily cut. And just in there. One escape. We can't put in it. It goes there. Shake them around a bit. These slices. A little bit of lemon. And few drops of Tabasco, four beef stock cubes, then a little bit more wine, cover it, some more wine. Lid on, and then we take the heat down a lot. It should sort of bubble away in there, and then just leave it. And I don't know, 8 hours or so later, it will be very good. So some things have happened up here since we last. But these are working very well. I know I've said that 100 times, but they're fantastic. Last night, well, I'm saying last night, well into this morning actually, I think I finished about 5:30 or something. All the networking is done. So the standard Wi-Fi for the rooms, the security system, which I won't go into too much detail, and the console and quite a few bits here are sharing the same network. So I can't use any sort of floating, or I can't use items that give themselves addresses over the network cameras and such, and the desk, because that will mess up when they restart. So we can't have that, so I had to rewrite all those. It has worked really well, and this is now on, doing pretty much what it should. And that's excellent. One fader bank is kind of not doing well, but I think it's a power supply issue, and I think we can fix that. So we started to get a bit done. It looks messy. It is going to get a little bit messier still, and then somewhere next week this will be pretty much done, and we can fill up the last side racks, and yeah, that would be a good feeling. I found a table for here. Let me show you that. Come around this side, because I like it. Can you see that? Nah, not really. You know, I was looking for a table at Emmaus, and then I kind of found this guy here. Is that making any sense? No. Well, there it is. And it was not at the Brocante, and it was not at Emmaus. It was in the library. I, in fact, and this is the truth, stumbled on it in the dark looking for some looms. You see that big multi-loom next to it. This guy was in a box. On top of the box, upside down, was this table, and I like it. It can stay. Very happy with the acoustic treatment of this room. Of course, you are aware of this. You are good viewers who knows things. But there's a bit of a difference in acoustic treatments, obviously, and insulation, acoustic insulation, because these aren't aimed to stop anything from coming through or going out and annoying the neighbors or the aeroplanes being stopped. They are here to give the room a different character, sound, a different sounding room, really, and they do that really well. There's more stuff going in here. Diffuser at the back above the sofa here, and the new table. These are quite fancy and also expensive, and that's not actually necessarily the way that you need to do that. I'll show you what I'm about to do in the other rooms a little bit. Two things to stop sound getting through. I mean, the laws of physics dictates that you either decouple or you have mass, or preferably both. So the walls don't meet and the floors don't meet, and you have very thick walls. Up here we have the benefit of the old stone walls that are 50 to 75 centimeters thick. They're fantastic. These are very thin, and we know that, so there will be a sort of headphone scenario there when you record something very sensitive in the other room, which is okay. But if we were to treat these with breeze blocks and concrete and decouple that, this whole floor, the studio floor, would be so heavy it'll end up in the kitchens. And that's not where we want it. I'd like it to stay up here. But to treat the rooms is simpler, and it can be done very simple. Let me show you what I've done, or I'm about to do in the other rooms here. I'll take you with me. If I can manage to flip this around. There we go. Still a bit messy in here really, but it will get better soon. Couple of days left to go now of mess. New table, good though. Look at that. So if we have a little wander in here. So this is the second control room. We've been adding a room, and also recordable. So this is, as you can hear, is far too ambient. This is a percussion drum room that is much better, and you can probably see why, but I will talk a little bit about that. This is a vocal overdub booth with a nice view from the console, so you can see. So okay, I'm going to try and clap now at the same time as I'm holding this. I don't know if I can do that. Oh no, that's not very good. I'll click, okay? So that's terrible. Ooh, we can't have that. If we compare that to this one, where we started to just simply putting up a lot of old mattresses that I will, once I get this little laser thing right, just cover with curtains. And it immediately changes this room. Let's click a bit here. That reverb, we can hear that, is actually the open door to the vocal booth. If we close that, even though this is a larger room, we close this. This already, even though we're not done at all, sounds a lot better. Right. So very simply, we can achieve really nice results before even testing this out with the drum kit and stuff. Not sure about these grey-blue curtains, but I have others. So about that. Let's go back. We don't really have time for this, but well, I think we do. Let's go in here for a bit. Oop. So I just had Jason on the phone with some very exciting news. Our gates have arrived. I don't know if you're new to the channel, there is an episode where Jenny installs the new gates with a little bit of help from Jason and Taylor. The problem is they were not made properly, unfortunately, and they had screws that are not stainless, so they have ruined the wood. The company agreed to swap them out, and at the same time we ordered the little door next to them. It's taken a long time, but now Jason just called me and said that they are here, so we need to go into town and pay for them, at least for the little one, and see if we can see them, which could be good. So let's head out. So let's stop here for a sec, because if you're new to the channel, again, welcome. You might be wondering, why are we swapping these doors out? They look fairly new, and they are, but there's a little bit of a story there. I think Jenny has spent the best part of a full episode going into great detail when she fitted them with a little bit of assistance from Jason and Taylor. But let's pop out before we go into town and pay for the new ones. And I'll show you why they are being swapped. So the idea obviously was to have these gates and that door being the same, and we did order even, I think, that little one, but they were sort of mismanufactured a little bit, these, so they fitted the wrong screws. It seems a very silly mistake, but they're actually not stainless screws, so they have affected the wood, and it's a sort of guarantee swap out. I love these gates. I think they're great, and I remember the day when they turned up, and my wonderful, beautiful wife went so ecstatically happy about it. So she looked like someone who was 8-year-old and just been given a new Smurf house or something. She had the biggest smile on, and it was very cute. But they need to be swapped, and we're getting the new little door as well, which has arrived. So let's go to town and see if we can get all this sorted. So, viewers, we are here in Ruyak at Battyland, where we're supposed to be paying for our doors. Let's go in and see what's going on here. Hopefully we can see them, That would be nice. I'm not sure if they are at this location or not, but I think they might be. So, slight anticlimax there, viewers. Sorry to disappoint you. The doors are not here, so we arranged everything. Apparently, Jason just called and I have arranged delivery far too soon, just because I wanted them. So I said Monday, but he's going to rearrange that because they're very big and needs to be lifted off with Manitou, and they need to be a bit more ready than me saying sure Monday is fine. So hopefully sometime next week we can see the new ones, but we'll go and buy potatoes, which we need, and go back home for more work. So, viewers, we are here at Super U in our nearest town of Rouillac. Just a quick word about grocery stores in France. They are excellent, very, very good. The French cook a lot and they appreciate produce. So pretty much all the supermarkets and the grocery stores and butchers are fantastic, because otherwise they wouldn't sell any food. And the French are quite demanding. The produce has to be great and fresh and not too pricey. They're not really cheap, I wouldn't say that, but they also have to sustain the farmers, and great food isn't that cheap to produce. So anyway, instead of me waffling, let's go in and have a look. I'll show you. Show you the fish counter. This isn't very exclusive, this shop, or anything super special. It's just kind of the normal. I'll show you. Very good. So oysters here that are great and very cheap. You can basically buy a box of these for what you'll pay for two of them in Stockholm, where I'm from. So we're quite close to Bordeaux here, so the wine shelves are obviously filled with that at very good prices. I have some Pomerols here that aren't that expensive at all, and a very, very good wine. Some 2016s on the shelves, which was a fantastic year, as you probably know, for all reds. I myself tend to drink these Cote Bronze, which is probably this bit disloyal, this close to Bordeaux, but it's like well, you know this. I'm sure you know more about wine than I do, but it's like a budget version of a Chateau de Pape or a Cottrell tea. I like them, and we should take 2 of these if I can manage to hold this basket at the same time and use later. Again, this isn't a particularly exclusive shop, but I'll show you the standard normal Thursday cuts of beef they have up here. And not just beef, of course, others too. So some fruit and veg next, then we are nearly done. I'm gonna get some pastries with apple and things in them because I love them. I have a small pastry with apple things in it addiction, I think. I'll show you this though. Right, let's buy what we actually came here to buy. A small pack of potatoes. Evening, friends. I'm sorry it's so late. I was working away and I had a visit from Alexander, my neighbor, who is a very interesting man. I'm gonna invite him and his wife and daughter for dinner next week, so you guys can meet them. They are a cognac and wine producing family, and Alexander is also one of the more knowledgeable persons in France on rum. But now we have left our dinner for a long time. The beef is looking very good. I'm not sure how I'm going to get you guys to see it, but the newfound respect for food vloggers. Let's see if I can do this. There's our beef. It's looking very good. We need to make some mash, and for that I use a lot of parsley, a lot of butter, a lot of cream, salt and pepper, and sometimes even a few potatoes. So let's try that. This here salt is fantastic. It's from Ile de Ré, just west of here, next to Ile d'Orléans, who produces an enormous amount of oysters. But this salt is otherworldly. It's so good tasting, you can kind of just eat it. Really. But Ile de Ré is about 45 minutes to an hour out to the coast, to the west of us. To most Swedes, I suppose, it's mostly famous for being neighbor with Fort Boyard, the home of the Olympic medalist Gunde Svan on skis. Don't ask me to explain that for you viewers who are not from Sweden. It will get very tricky. Anyway, in with these. Into those. Nice and fluffy. It is excellent.
There we have it. Mash. Even with traces of potato. Our bourguignon is done.
Thanks for staying late, guys, friends of YouTube. I've got a plate of dinner. Hopefully it turned out well. Here we have it. But since you guys are here and we're having dinner together, there's something I'd like to talk to you about. I was chatting to my darling wife today, and she is, as you might know, busy setting up some retreats and things for activities here in the summer and early autumn. I'm not a huge part of that, and the writing retreats and music ones that I will do are reasonably specialized, but there is something I want to do, even though the entertainment value of me doing yoga is probably astronomically high. I'm not going to do that. What I would like to do is more of a, I think, general experience retreat for just a few people. I mean, in several, maybe different timings, but say 7 or 8 people at the most at a time, and just experience Charente and the neighboring areas over here that are lovely. And we are not experts of being here at all. We've been here for a couple of years, but there's things we do know, and more to the point, things we'd like to show others. And that, I think, would be something I'd be very interested in doing. Maybe for 4 or 5 days at a time, and you guys would stay here, and we'll cook together. We'll go to Brukans, we'll go to the coast, and do things that we kind of do. That is something I would be really interested in doing, and I think I'd enjoy doing it more than perhaps yoga. I'm going to be brutally honest there. I haven't really worked out the details at all. I've just started to talk to Jenny about this, but I will, and we will come up with some sort of plan how that would look, itinerary-wise and logistics. And yeah, bear with me a little bit, and I really want to set something like that up, and I'll get some proposals up on Jenny's webpage, which I haven't really looked at that much, but I'm sure it's great. And we'll take it from there. I'm going to see if I can enjoy my very late dinner. But thanks for staying so late and having dinner with me. Thank you very much for watching and staying. I shall see you again soon, hopefully. Bye for now.